Hi everyone, my name is Musa Masinga from the Kingdom of Eswatini, that is in Southern Africa, in between South Africa and Mozambique.
And hi, I'm his wife. I'm Waheedah Masinga, and I'm from the good state of Ohio. You know, after I finished school, so I was going to school in Hawaii. It was wonderful, best experience ever. Well, after I got there, one of my dreams were to work in a nonprofit organization at some point, but I was thinking like just volunteer a little bit. So I went there and, you know, I just wanted to fill my resume and I went there for 3 months and then I met somebody the very first day. So that's how I ended up there. And that was 2010. Short amount of time and didn't know that it was going to have my heart for the rest of my life. When I told people I was moving there, they're like, yeah, that's great. Where is that? So it's okay. It used to be called Swaziland, and now it's Eswatini. It's a kingdom and it's a small little country. And like my husband was saying, it's surrounded by South Africa and then a little part of it touches Mozambique. So this is the bottom of Africa. It's like right there.
They used to mistake their name for Switzerland. Now it's named after the king. So my father was originally from Mozambique, which is close to Swaziland, and there was a civil war that broke out. So he moved into Eswatini. That's how we met up with my mother. And my dad committed a very serious crime. He was the most wanted person in my country. Yeah, and he was running away from the police and he ran and he jumped into the river, and the police, they just stood there, surrounded the river, and they gave him warnings to come out. He wouldn't, and he was struggling to breathe. And so he surfaced his head above the water and, you know, they shot him and he died on the spot. News got to my mother. She, you know, she was very devastated. She had 4 kids. She was a housewife. She wasn't working, so she had to come up with a plan. And the plan that she only had was to literally move the 4 kids into the streets. I'm the 3rd oldest. I have 2 sisters and 1 brother. So she moved all of us into the streets, which was very, very difficult for us. It was the survival of the fittest, you know, to get money. We used to beg from people, steal. We did everything we did to survive. My older brother, you know, he joined a very notorious gang because it was a popular thing to do. And the life that he was living was very hard. And he actually spent a lot of time in prison than it was with us on the streets, and that was very difficult for my family. And 2 of my sisters, they got involved in prostitution, you know, just to kind of make a living because we didn't have an alternative, including my mother. And at the age of 12, my sister got pregnant and she gave birth to a baby and left him with me to look after. I mean, I was high on drugs. I couldn't take care of myself. Later on, another human being.
Yeah, and this was your older sister, so you were still young yourself.
Yeah, I was. So it was really interesting. And then I also, because I was looking up to my brother, he was my role model. And so it wasn't long before I joined the gangs. And at the age of 12, we moved into the streets, by the way, when I was 2 years old. At the age of 7, I was introduced to smoking and drinking, just so that we could, you know, numb the pain, you know, because most of the times we didn't even have anything to eat. We will spend days, 3 days sometimes without food. And so the drugs, they, you know, they actually helped us to be able to survive the winter colds. And I knew that something had to change, otherwise the path that I had chosen was only leading me to death and destruction. But I didn't know better, I didn't know what to do. But there was this guy, he was always telling me about, you know, challenge ministries. It's Teen Challenge, where they help young people with life controlling issues. And so I didn't want to go initially because I not that I thought that I was okay, but I was not used to structure and rules and all that stuff. You know, when you're in the streets, you do what you want when you want. But nevertheless, I heard that they were serving food, you know, and I was like, okay, I'll give it a try. And so I went with the wrong reasons just to get the food. I wasn't really interested in their program. But the people, they were really happy and excited. And I thought, man, these people are crazy. They must be high or drunk. Like, they don't even know me. Why are they so excited? You know, and I was like, I want whatever they had, you know, because they had a lot of joy and excitement. So this lady, she called me into her office and she just, you know, prayed with me. And, you know, I gave my life to the Lord and, you know, I began to go to church and my life was transformed. And I graduated from that program. And before I actually came into the program, I couldn't read, I couldn't write, not a word in English, because, you know, when you're in the streets, you don't have the luxury of going to school. So I graduated and went to a missionary school and a Bible school, music school, and then I started leading, you know, the same center, Teen Challenge as a director, which was a miracle. I mean, who would have thought or imagined? You know, but you know, anything is possible if people just believe and they apply themselves. So I then started leading a church, and later on, I met my wife, and now we have two kids. My son's name is Begiv, and my daughter is Elisha, and we are now doing missionary work and helping other people change as I was helped.
Well, you know what? My upbringing was completely different. I'm from America. And no matter, I know we have our struggles and our problems, but I was able to have food, shelter, education, those things that were just basic needs. I was able to have them. You know, whether there was hard seasons or not, it doesn't compare. I also grew up in a very, very loving home. Even though I come from a single parent home, my dad was very much active in my life. Both parents, they just really loved me well. And so they taught me that I can kind of do anything, you know, like we'll support you, you know, which is funny because when I told my dad I wanted to move to Africa, he's like, I am not supporting that, but that's a different story. That's a different story anyway. So grew up great, did organized sports. That's all we are about in my family. I have three older brothers. They're all Americans in their sports. So, and now one even is a coach for the Detroit Lions. So they're just really big. We're a big sports family. Anyway, so I decided I'm going to fly to Hawaii to go to school because I wanted to stop being little known by my brothers. I wanted my own name, you know, being a young female. It's not always nice to be known as someone's little sister all the time. So I flew to Hawaii. And the wonderful thing about that is that my dream was to go into foreign service. I wanted to be a naval officer. And I knew that the best way to do it was to go to that school, learn Japanese, and go through that process. And my whole thing was I wanted to be an ambassador one day. So work in the consulates and different embassies. That's what I wanted to do. But before I get to that place, I want to tell you something that's a very vital part of my upbringing. When I was 17, my mom, my brothers all moved out of the house. One got married, one moved to California, and then another one, what did he do? Oh, he went to college. So it was just me in the house. And my mom looked at me and she's like, we need to work on you. And I was like, what does that mean? Now, my mom, you need to understand, she's a beautician. She has her own salon. And then here's me, you know? And she's like, you know what? You have to do, I don't know if you know those old school debutantes. I saw the debutante and I was like, there's no way I can't. I just can't. Anyway, so I was like, okay, at least the Miss Teen Ohio pageant is only 2 days, you know, it's quick. I'll let her doll me up, that sort of thing. Did that pageant when I was 17, had a blast. I did not want to do it, but ended up having a wonderful time. Went back my senior year, told everyone what I did for the summer. Nobody believed in me. So I decided, they did, because I was the basketball girl. That was what I was known for. So no one believed me. So what I decided to do is to do it again the next summer, but this time invite my whole basketball team, all my friends. And so they came to this pageant, this very, very prestigious pageant, and they were so obnoxious. They were, they did not know how to act. But anyway, they were in the front row and I just felt so good. And I did this pageant. And then long story short, that qualified me for the national pageant in LA, and did the national pageant in LA, which was a week long. It was very long for me. But anyway, I ended up walking away with the national title, the national team title. Now, this is key because it changed my life, because at that moment, I thought I was only good at this particular thing, you know? And then my mom challenged me like, oh, I don't like the way you're thinking. Let's challenge that mindset. And so she's like, we're going to put you in something that you don't know anything about. And here I am, I won. And then right immediately I was flown to Houston for a photo shoot. I went to New York, I did this, and I ended up speaking to thousands of girls, because after that 1 year of reign, I was able to get hired on, and I would go and just speak all over the nation, inspiring girls to step out of their comfort zone. So anyway, I want you to understand that, because I didn't just out of nowhere go Ohio, Hawaii, Africa. I had to change my mindset that I will only be good at this. Otherwise, I would have stayed in Ohio. I never would have even went to Hawaii. So anyway, now fast forward, I get I graduate from college. I go to, I graduate from college and I have these 5 amazing opportunities. I knew that I needed to go serve. I needed to volunteer my time and go to Africa for just 3 months. Then after that, I'll surely know which one of those 5 options I should take to get me to my ultimate goal of being a US ambassador.
We are running a program called Emerge. Now in Emerge, the focus is to identify people that have been forgotten by society and relegated by circumstances to the lowest of the low, the very drag and pitch of humanity. And we go out, we find the people, and we bring them into the program, and then we match them up with a professional that will help them to identify what it is they're meant to be doing in life as far as the skill is concerned, and also helping them with their character, because we realize that a lot of people in our country, especially the young people, do not have jobs, about 70% as we speak. And so we're trying to also end the poverty mindset that says that I am where I am in life because of circumstances, the government, or even the color of the wall. People find all kinds of excuses. We're just trying to end even the entitlement, the victim mentality, so that we have a whole person that has a skill, and also their skill is refined, and then they can go out into their community and just kind of, the goal and the vision is to end hunger in Swaziland by changing one life at a time. So we will bring these individuals in. Some will even be referred to us by social welfare or the police or whatever their situation is. But our goal is to refine them, give them a skill so that they can go out, create a job, or find a job for themselves.
Can I just add, I love the fact that this country, again, there's 1.2 million people in the country. So it's small enough that you can actually see a change. You can actually do something and you can see a change. One of the things we didn't go into with our history, so we've been married 11 years now, September, 11 years. And
I need to remember that.
Yeah, but for 24 years, you know, Musa joined this organization, and for 24 years, he's worked with orphans, he's worked with people with life-controlling problems, women in abuse situations, programs. We had a year-long program for women. And we really spent a lot of time working with people in this background. And so when I joined him 11 years ago, I joined that same organization and just working with people. And what we saw throughout all of the different organizations is that, hey, the orphan issue is getting better. There's there's places for kids to go now. At least there's a little bit more options than what it was even just 10 years ago. So we're seeing that, but now these children are finishing, they're becoming adults now. They finish school, they finish their programs, and now they're like, what do we do now? They're fatherless, they're motherless, and then now they're adults. So that's where our program comes in. So that's why he was talking about how we help them holistically. We help them holistically because we don't just give them a skill. You know, they need to be counseled. They need to be encouraged. They need someone to come alongside of them and coach, saying, you're doing a great job. Oh, actually, maybe with your character, we need to work and adjust on some of those things. So again, the country is small enough that we can actually make a difference. And we've seen that already in 10 years.
The vision is actually to learn, apply, and teach others. So once they have the skill, they need to go and pay it forward. And this is me, I feel, also paying it forward, because I was in that situation and somebody identified the calling of God in my life, and they were able to help me to see the good and to develop the skills that I had. And now I see the needs and I'm able to actually help other people who are in a similar situation as I was 24 years ago. And we go through hardships so that you can identify and be able to encourage other people and minister to their situation better. Because we've been there, we know what it's like, you know.
So one of the big things is that Musa and I have been meeting inside of our home. We've been meeting under trees and coffee shops, wherever we can find a place, because there's no lack in people and participants. We have that, but we do need a space. We do need supporters. We need people that will get our name out there. We need people to follow our pages. We need to grow this so that we can actually have the funding to actually be sustainable. That's what it is. We want to be sustainable, but we do need that back support.
And go ahead.
Yeah, I was just going to say, some of the statistics in Swaziland is, 59% of the country lives under $1.90 per day. So that's a very small amount. And so we have been working with different people also in Eswatini for them to invest as well. But we know that we still it's going to take a huge village. Yeah.
So we definitely need your prayers, because we believe in prayer, and we need you to come and be part of the mission. For those of you that can come, whatever skills that God has given you, whether you're a carpenter or you are an auto mechanic or whatever it is that you're good at, because our goal is to focus on helping people develop their skills. And we definitely need financial support, because I had to give up everything, the house that we had, the car and the job, to be able to do what we are doing right now. So monthly support will be great, because we are basically going back to our country with nothing. And it's good for us. We can sleep under a tree. But for the people of Eswatini, we need to find them a place where they can sleep at night. And also with the funds that we get, we just buy equipment to be able to help them in the skills.
I think also, just to add on to this, one of the things that has been very alarming is 1 in 3 women have been abused in Eswatini. And that's those that report it. Their culture is very heavy about sweeping it under the carpet. Now, I know that happens even in America, but these ladies, for 1 in 3 to even step forward, we're talking about more than half, ultimately, of the generation of the ladies walking around that has been abused before the age of 18 multiple times. Like, it's a regular thing. And so when I just wanted to clarify, when he was talking about our people need to have someplace safe to sleep, that's part of it. They need a safe place. In the middle of the night, of a young lady, and the first people she called was us. And this young lady had just found out she was just raped. And like, call the police, all these different things, but she called us. And for us to be in that position to be able to help her, come alongside her is great. But the first thing she wanted to do was, I got to get out of this place because this is where it happened, obviously. So she came, and you would know with your experience. So she came and stayed with us. And then 2 days later, we hear that 3 other girls got raped together on campus, just trying to get an education. Okay. This happens to them, and 2 of them commit suicide. Okay, after that, because there's a whole thing, nothing is being changed, and we want to challenge that. So we also have support groups at our organization as well for these women, but we also need to have a safe haven where they can come and really feel safe as they process the trauma that they're going through.
So for me, I would have even gone down, and just pick all these people up and have them in our home. But we need to be able to have a home because we currently don't have a home. So we are not in a position to actually do that kind of thing. So what we find helpful is the website that we have. Maybe Waheedah can talk a little bit about that, how people can be engaged and support us monthly to be able to carry out the work that we are doing.
Our website at www.365emerge.org. And right there, you will also find a button for, of course, give, but you'll also find all the information. Get involved, contact us, and please do. We're a smaller organization right now, and we know that it's going to grow, but right now we're small, and I am the person right behind that email. So please email us. Talk to us. If you have questions, suggestions, if you want to make points of contact, please, we would love to hear from you.
And the 3 things for me that I am thinking of right now is, come out and serve if you have the time, even if it's for a week, 2 weeks, to see what we are about and what we are doing and how you can be involved. Please pray for us. We really crave your prayers, and give whatever that God places in your heart.
All right. Thank you so much.